Today we're talking about beginner gods. I'm gonna step on some people's toes with this topic, I'm pretty sure. Sorry about that in advance, but it's just not avoidable. So, there are certain gods in Smite that are relatively easy to pick up. Those gods are in pretty much all classes except Guardians, where there's only one god I could think of that really fits the same idea. But generally, these gods share some traits. They are relatively easy to pick up, they have easy lane clear, and they often have great sustain. At the same time, most of these gods are often in low divisions, in low tiers, rated by pro players and so on, because they don't really bring too much to a high level of play. Now, people often claim that these gods need to be buffed in one way or another. I want to use this video as kind of an open platform for discussion about this topic, simply because I think it's absolutely okay to have some gods that are relatively low tier, but easy to learn and easy for beginners who level up from level 1 to level 30, for example, just so they can get used to the game. It's great if these gods receive buffs, but I don't think it's necessary for them to be high tier from time to time, whereas other gods kind of need buffs if they haven't been played for too long, because these gods are always going to be played on lower levels of play anyways. I don't think every god has to have competitive viability in order to be a good design by the player's standards, and I'm also kind of curious to see who will agree or disagree on this topic. Let's begin with the mages. I think this is the least controversial one. There are two mages that work extremely well on low levels of play, but if you hit level 30 and you keep playing them, you will realize that eventually people are going to play against them much better. Anubis and Kukulcan. Both of them fulfill the criteria of being low tier gods with easy lane clear, mostly like easier lane clear than pretty much any other mage, but have not much else in their kits. Anubis has some sustain as well, which is nice, but none of them has really good escapes. They are basically one-shot wonders with their ultimates, and if they don't have their ultimate or their ultimate is blocked by something, then they're in big trouble. In the warrior division, there's only one god that I would classify as really easy. There's a second one that is really close to him. The one that I would place right there as the beginner warrior, which basically never got to high tiers, but it's very, very good to start with, is Chalk. He's got heal, he's got very good lane clear, he has an escape, he's tanky enough, but he just doesn't bring all too much to his teamfight as much as Hyris tries to buff him. The other one who's worth mentioning is Hercules, who also basically fulfilled the same criteria, but is just a little more effective on higher levels of play. Not much anyways. In the assassin department, and I know this is gonna piss a ton of people off, there's two, of which one is Loki. Loki's kit is easy to pick up, and he is too single target focused to bring much too high level ranked, so there's that. Bastet is the other one I'm thinking of, simply because it's so easy to just drop her kit and be successful with that without thinking about attack cancelling, counter building or anything. Just build penetration, go all in, and it will work until a certain level of play. Both of them, once again, are not very high tier at the moment, and I think it is not problematic that they aren't. However, Bastet has recently seen competitive play. Just pointing that out, it's not impossible for these gods to be played on high levels, it's just very rare. Then we have the hunters. The hunters are a little odd. The hunter that should be the beginner hunter, the most obvious case of all of them, is Neith. Neith has a heal in her kit, she has an escape, she has mostly easy to land ability damage, and once you master her kit, there's only the weaves and the ultimate that really have a major impact on how well you play her. So she should be the one you would think that applies best to the category. However, she has been strong for extended periods of time because she just did benefit a little too much from certain items, and the fact that she has an escape as a hunter makes her great anyways, because every hunter basically has an impact with their attack speed, attack damage late game, so she kind of doesn't work out in the same way. The ones that are also worth mentioning, even though they're not as easy by design, are Anubis and Kukulcan and Artemis. Both of them lack an escape, but they have a great bully potential once they get online. A little earlier for Anubis and Kukulcan, a little later for Artemis, but they both have excellent trading potential, and if they don't get ganked a lot, which only happens on higher levels of play, then they can get to their full potential and be extremely scary. Last but not least, we have the Guardians. Once again, I think the Guardians don't really have the same kind of guard to the same extent. If there was any, it would be Sylvanas currently, who has that heal and is relatively low tier, but he has been high tier before, so I don't think it applies to the same level, and having a knock-up as an ultimate is always strong, even when you're easily gankable as Sylvanas. Realistically, the only one of these guards we've seen above A tier has been Neith in recent times. So, what is your opinion? Do you think these guards should be buffed so they can actually compete on the highest levels of play as well? Or is it fine that they're just beginner guards that help you learn the game and then you're kind of forced to switch over to other guards in most situations? I'm very curious about your opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Duke Sloth out.